Hey everybody, this is Dan. We're going to wait just a few more minutes. We're going to let a few people join. I see that we've got a lot of people still coming in. So go ahead, take it easy, and we'll get started here in about 2 minutes, alright? So take it easy, go grab something to drink, go use the restroom, go do what you got to do, because we've got about half an hour of pure business education. We're going to learn how to get on your way to financial freedom. So go ahead and get yourself ready for the next half hour or so. All right. In short, we're gonna. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first day of your trip down the road to financial freedom. I want to thank you all for signing up for the webinar. I know what you were probably thinking. Oh no, not another webinar. I get it. I've gone through plenty of them myself, but I'm going to try to make this one a little bit less painless for you. We're going to make it nice and short. We're going to go through all the important bullet point info that we need to get taken care of, and then we're going to go on from there. We're going to try to make sure that we get you as much information as you need in order to get your way started on the road to financial freedom without having to waste too much of your time. Because just like you, I also want to go ahead and start making some money. So let's go ahead. First thing we're going to talk about real quick. I want to introduce myself a little bit. So, who am I? Who is Daniel Parsons? So, my name's Daniel. I go by Dan, so feel free to, call me Dan. It doesn't really matter. But I'm 24 years old. I was born in New Jersey. I was actually born right outside of Trenton. However, basically Baltimore's my home. I grew up, spent most of my high school years in Baltimore, graduated from a little high school in Baltimore, a little private school right outside city limits. Let's see, what else about me? I was going to the University of Maryland, but I, I don't know. College just wasn't for me. I found out very quickly that I was not interested in the major I was going into. I was going for accounting, and something about college just, I didn't feel like I was getting the most for the ridiculous amount of debt I was putting myself into. And so I really felt like I needed to take a different path, if you know what I mean. So I ended up dropping out of college. I had some really bad struggles with my grades my first couple years. Dropped out of college, and I ended up having to take a job just so that I could, help provide. Because I was taken in by my aunt and uncle. My parents. I had a really rough childhood. So, long story short, I came from nothing. So when I say that anybody can do what I'm doing, I mean it. I'm living my dream. I'm retired. I don't have to do anything. I do what I do because I love it. I don't have to do it. I can easily retire today and live wealthy for a lifetime. In just 2 years, I've earned over $4 million just from doing what I'm doing. And it's fun. I love it. So, anyway, enough talking about me. I want to know about you guys. I know that some of you are entrepreneurs. I want to know what kind of businesses you have. And I also want to know, if you don't own a business, what do you guys do for a living now, and why do you want to get out of that living? So go ahead, let me see in the chat below. Okay. Lots of entrepreneurs in here. I like that. Good. So if you're in here and you're an entrepreneur, obviously you feel like there's something better, something that you can do to try to improve your business so that you can reach that, essentially, financial freedom, just like I've got. So let's go into that. There's a couple things that we're going to talk about today, We're gonna talk about mindset. The mindset of somebody who wants to become I'm sorry about that for the mic there. Uh, the mindset of somebody that is trying to become financially free, whether it be through a particular business, whether it be selling a particular item, whether it be inventing, whether it be providing a service, it doesn't matter. You've got to have the right mindset. Now, the second thing we're going to talk about is high income skills. And this is going to be the most important thing we talk about today. Because high income skills, even though we're not going to spend a lot of time on it, high income skills are the absolute backbone to generating revenue. Again, high income skills are the backbone to generating revenue. And then the last thing we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how you can grow your business using those high income skills. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We're already 10 minutes in, so let's go ahead and talk about mindset a little bit. In order to be successful, you have to think like a successful person. You see here, essentially, if you want to be that shark, if you want to be the shark of business, you have to think like a shark. Let's be honest, there's a great quote in one of my favorite books, and in fact, it's one of the materials in the Guide to Financial Freedom that I reference multiple times, and that is The Millionaire Fastlane by M.J. DeMarco. He said, let me think about how this exact quote went. Would you rather be a shark or a guppy? One gets eaten, the shark does the eating, and one eats. The shark eats the guppy. God, I butchered that. I apologize about that. But anyway, the guppy is what gets eaten. The shark does the eating. Do you want to be a shark or do you want to be a guppy? That's essentially the gist of it. So here's some common mindsets that cause entrepreneurs to fail. Number one, I can't make money online. Number two, I don't have the capital to get my business started. Number three, if I fail a couple times, I just can't afford to try again. Listen, this one pisses me off a lot. I apologize for my language throughout some of this webinar, by the way, too. This one pisses me off because I failed probably 35 times. I have at least 35 failed businesses before I was finally able to find success with my online golf shop. So this one pisses me off a lot. So if you hear anybody, if you think that you can't afford to try again, that if you fail, you're just going to give up, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to be financially free. So the next one, another mindset. I don't want to have to work. I want easy money. That's another biggie there. There's no such thing as easy money. Quick money, yes. Easy money, no. And then I know this is going to sound kind of odd and contradictory, but the last one is business is all about making money. And we're going to talk about why here in the next second. So I want to make sure everyone's still following me, so go ahead, put in the chat, I'm following you, and we'll go ahead and get started with the next one. So let's take a look. All right, yep, good. All right, so continuing with mindset. Here are some common mindsets that cause entrepreneurs to succeed. I will take the actions necessary to grow my business. It's all part of a process, and I'm going to do what it takes in order to be successful and to grow my business. I am willing to work hard now, knowing that I'll be well off 5 years from now. This is a huge one too. For some people, if you're able to figure out your particular skill, your particular market, you're able to be well off in less than that time. I hate to use myself as an example because I don't really like to brag, but look at me, for example. 3 years ago, I was on the verge of homelessness. I had to get a job that I hated. I hated that. I hated my first two jobs. Let me tell you, I can never, ever go back to having a job. But in just, let's see, that was in July, I believe, of 2016, um, was when I really figured things out. And since then, in 2 years, just over 2 years, I have amassed enough wealth to last me for years and to live comfortably for years without having to work hardly at all. So, another mindset that you got to have if you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, you need to think to yourself, I will find a need in the market and I will fulfill that need. So this goes back, let's think about the previous slide we just saw about business is all about making money. It's not. This is exactly what I was talking about. If you think as money first and not customer first, you're ignoring one of the 5 big principles of business, and that is fulfilling a need. You're thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your wallet, and you're not thinking about your customer. So that is a huge one. And again, like I said, I go back to MJ DeMarco's book constantly in everything that I talk about because he's been such a huge influence to me, which I really, really recommend you guys read. It's, again, in The Guide to Financial Freedom. I reference it constantly, and it's one of the books that I highly suggest that you read if you haven't read it yet. So, this is a big one. You really need to make sure that you are customer focused. It is not all about making money. If you create a solution to a problem that a customer has, then they will bring their money to you. It's all about creating money attractors, not necessarily making money. Another mindset you got to have is I will not give up, and I will find a process that gets me on my path to success. There's a difference between responsibility and accountability. Responsibility is saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes in order to succeed, and I'm not going to give up. While accountability is actually doing it. You need to hold yourself accountable for your company and for your actions. And I know I'm coming off a little strong here, but I fully believe in each of these mindsets, these 4 mindsets here that I've laid out. These 4 things, if you're able to master these things, you're going to go far. Any fans of The Offspring here, you'll know what I'm talking about. So anyway, now that we've talked about mindset, let's ask ourselves a few questions. I want you guys to actually write down some of the answers to these questions I'm about to ask. Do you have a millionaire mindset? Do you want to grow your business at a rapid rate so that you can retire early? Do you want to have the financial freedom to do what you want when you want? Do you have the mindset of a winner? And are you willing to do anything necessary within law and ethics to succeed? Are you ready to take the next step in your entrepreneurial career? Are you ready to be successful by providing a service to a market with a need for said service? Are you ready to learn a high income skill that will let you live financially free for the rest of your life? So if you answered yes to any single one of those questions, keep on watching, because I think that we're going to go over something that's going to be absolutely huge to you. I know it was for me when I first learned about high income skills. So let's go on to high income skills. So what is a high income skill? You need essentially to provide value to your customer base. How do you do that? Through high income skills. As you can see, a high income skill is a skill that can be used in order to generate a massive amount of wealth in a short period of time. Some of the biggest money-making skills, I don't even want to say money-making, the biggest wealth-making skills include public speaking, which is essentially what I'm doing right now, writing, including authoring books, and copywriting. This is a big one that we're going to go into a little bit more detail about. And then last but not least, web and graphic design. If you know how to design a quality website, then you will be absolutely, absolutely in demand. So let's talk a little bit. You see, I've got a bunch of numbers here on the right side of the slide. Let's talk a little bit about what I did in order to generate my wealth. Now, if you have read my book, or if you have taken a look at my bio, or know anything about me at all in general, you'll know that I made a large chunk of my money from an online golf shop. Well, that's not entirely true. I made the money from the golf shop because I learned a high income skill. I learned how to write professional, quality, attention grabbing copy. So, essentially, the reason why I'm going to go so far into depth about copywriting is because I feel it may be the most profitable high income skill that there is today, because there's always a company out there looking for professional copywriters because there are so few good ones. Not only that, you're able to take those skills. If you don't want to write for another company, you can write for your own business, and it's going to help grow your business massively. So essentially what copywriting is the art of selling through written advertisements. When it comes to good, solid copy, you need to strike your reader on an emotional and mental level. You need to get inside their heads and convince them why they need your product or service right now. So how do you do that? Does anybody know how? I'll see if I can read some of the comments here. Okay. I think I saw it earlier. So there's lots of different moving parts to writing effective copy, and I personally specialize in email copy. I'm very, very good at writing quality emails. So, for example, with email copy, there's essentially 5 parts that you need in order to create a solid piece of advertising. You need to have a compelling hook. You need to grab your reader's attention immediately. You need to give them a reason to keep reading. Which one are you going to continue reading into? Are you going to read a letter that says, "Hi, Joe, my name is Dan, and I am selling a product that I think that you need"? Or are you going to read this one? "Hi, Joe, this is Dan. Have you ever wondered how you're able to improve your golf game? Well, I have the perfect solution for you." So let's assume that Joe's a golfer. He's going to be hooked right away on that introduction. Now, obviously, that's not a real good, solid example, but it's an idea which one sounds more compelling. It's going to be the second one, because if you're a golfer, it immediately thinks, hey, I do want to know how I can be a better golfer. I want to know more about it. So the next part of a good, solid copy letter is you're going to need to tell them what you're offering. You're going to need to go over the price. You're going to need to go over why they need that product. Hopefully you're going to have some sort of endorsement, statistics, something like that. You need to do lots of research with copywriting in order to figure out what's going to really strike a chord with your author or with your audience. Some people put this all into one paragraph. Some people separate it. It just really depends on your target audience and what is most natural to you. But you need to create a sense of urgency, and you really need to eliminate all remaining doubts. All right, so going to the right side of the screen here. This is my income over the past 2 years. Yeah, about 2 years or so. So this is essentially from when I started my business slash copywriting to now. It goes over my income and it goes over my costs. As you can see, it is definitely possible to generate a massive amount of revenue just from a high income skill. Now, here's the thing about high income skills. You don't learn them overnight. It takes practice. It takes research. This is what I was talking about in terms of you need to put a lot of effort in before you're able to generate a massive amount of revenue. So you can see here that I essentially, in the past 2 years, just from, just kind of threw my phone all over the place. See, that's the thing about these live webinars. You never know what's going to happen. Alrighty. I apologize about that, folks. Give me 1 second. We'll be right back on track here. Alright. There we go. Alright, so you can see in just a couple years, my income has grown exponentially. That's the difference between working at a job for somebody and working for yourself. Mind you, this income that I generated has gone from me working about 40 to 60 hours a week on my copywriting and my businesses to this year, I've been working maybe, I don't know, 8, 10 hours a week tops. I even took a 2-month vacation over February and March. I actually spent a couple months down in Palm Beach. It was beautiful down there. So my point is, you need to put in the work early on so that you can create the nest egg that you need to be comfortable and to be financially free later on down the road. Once you get your bearings set, you're able to generate income not only through active hard work like you do at the beginning, but also passively, because a lot of my income, as you can see, is now passive. So, excuse me, I need to take a drink. Lots of talking. So let's go on to the last thing we're going to talk about today, and that's growing your business. There's 3 main things that you need to do when it comes to growing your business. You need to learn your target market. This again goes back to the research phase I told you about. You need to learn who your client is. You need to figure out what they need, and you need to figure out how you can solve that need. The next thing you'll need to do is, if you're going to learn a high-income skill, you need to put it to use. I've seen people get so far along in learning a certain skill and then just never use it. College is a great example of high-income skills, or just skills in general, that you learn and just never use again. I've seen so many people. How many people have you seen get a bachelor's degree in something like, I don't know, I hate to bash on the arts because in a way what I do is an art, but let's look at the fine arts majors. Let's take a look at the accounting majors. Let's take a look at the business management majors. How many of them are actually using their degrees? A few, yes, but most of them aren't. So make sure that if you're going to learn a high-income skill, like I highly suggest you do, you need to make sure you implement it. There's no use in learning something and not using it. The last thing that you need to do is, once you've learned that high-income skill, you need to continue to expand your knowledge. I'm still learning about marketing. I'm still learning about copywriting. I'm still learning about running businesses every single day. And I saw we just hit the 30-minute mark, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up pretty quickly. But in order to keep on growing yourself and your brand and your business, you need to keep learning and keep changing and adapting to the surrounding environments constantly. So that's really all I have for you today, folks. I appreciate you taking the time to spend these last 30 minutes with me. If you have any questions at all, send me an email. And if you want to get your path to financial freedom started as soon as possible, I highly suggest you go ahead and take a look at my Guide to Financial Freedom plan. The plan right now, since you guys watched the webinar, we're going to let you do the plan. Normally, it would be $1,500 in order to do this plan. Right now, we've got a special going on for you guys who watched the webinar. We'll do it for $699. Now, mind you, this is only going to last for about 4 days. So once 4 days is over, this offer is absolutely gone. So I want to take you under my wing. I want to give you the materials you need to succeed in the field of copywriting, in the field of business, and we're going to create your massive income. Now, I want to remind you, these results are not always typical, but we're going to do our damnedest to try to make you a multi-millionaire like me. So, everyone who is still here with me, you are the sharks. I want to say congratulations to you. You have made it through the whole half-hour webinar. So thank you for taking the time to spend with me. We're going to get you on your road to financial freedom. So if you're ready to take it to the next level, like I said, hurry up, head over to the website. I'm going to send you another email to remind you about it, but we are going to make sure that we get you taken care of. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to talking with you and working with you soon.